Question. Have you ever ignored your body's whispers? Have you ever ignored your body's whispers and then found yourself flat on your back? That was my story. And I know I'm not alone. Other women like you, same thing. But let's listen to the whisper before it begins to shout and feel like it's taking you out. So, greetings, everyone. That's our topic for today, for today's midlife and menopause moment. I'm your host on this journey, your sister along this way, Dr. Michelle Clay. That's Michelle like Obama, Clay like Cassius. And I am both a physician as well as a certified holistic health counselor and clinical nutritionist. But I'm a woman just like you, a fabulous woman over 40. Honey, as a matter of fact, phenomenally 50 plus. And what I do is I help people, particularly women just like you, maneuver midlife transitions with grace and ease and age with elegance, honey. I do that through premium loose leaf herbal teas. Well, y'all know Reality. Reality, a really relaxing escapes of wellness in a cup, as well as transformative wellness programs and retreat experiences. So let's get into it. So, first of all, what really was the inspiration for today's topic in our midlife and menopause moment was I was speaking to another sister, just like us. Actually, she's phenomenally 50 plus, okay? A little bit younger than I am. And she was telling me how she had been under so much stress with her mom making a transition. And for those of you, sorry, my water's boiling. And for those of you who um, no longer have their mothers here on the earth, but is now an ancestor, then you know that feeling is, it changes you in a way that's unexpected and that you never go back from. You come into a new normal, and creating that new normal is very difficult. And it's a long time, and the type of grief that you experience when your mom goes on to, as I say, the land of the ancestors, has made her transition, you never get over. You just learn how to surf the waves of grief as opposed to those waves taking you out. And so she was telling me that she felt something in her body, but she ignored it. Not just ignore. She said, I figured I would get over it. I would just push through. I felt a little tired, sometimes a little headache, but I was working a lot. So I just pushed through until she couldn't push anymore. And then what happened? What happened was she checked her blood pressure and she was at stroke level. Her body was shouting, and her mind and her spirit were shouting, slow down, sis. Sit down, be still. We need you to pay attention. And slowing down and paying attention can look like, sometimes I find it in a cup of tea. So today's broadcast is brought to you by Release Your ImmuniTEA. And so while it does help support your immune system, it also helps with stress. It also has hibiscus in it, which is something that could have helped this sister with her blood pressure. It has something in it that also could have helped that sis with the anxious feelings that come with grief. Um, our water's getting ready to be ready. And what it has in it that helps is with the anxious feelings of grief, it has holy basil in it. And holy basil is one of those herbs considered an adaptogen and scientifically proven to help with anxious feelings and bring on calm. Okay, our water is ready. I have my pot here. I already have since it's loose leaf, I already have it in there. Okay. So first, let's add our honey. Let me turn the what's called around. I tried to do too much at one time, baby child. I'm trying to do so many things. Okay, we'll go like that. Okay. So let's add our honey, pure unfiltered. I'm gonna take up the basket. So as you can see, and then add the honey since our water is ready. That's enough because there's um, dry blueberries in here, so it has like a natural sweetness to it. And now let's add our basket back. And we're gonna let that steep. Well, let's stir the honey. Oh, this is, and I put 2 fresh basil leaves in here, um, just to enhance it even more. And so let's allow this here to steep. It has ginger in it and elderberries. So since those are real hardy type of roots and herbs, then they need to steep a little bit longer. Okay. Okay. So while that is steeping, let's continue with our discussion today. So the next story of how to listen to your body's whispers before it's too late. Okay. Okay. So the next story actually is about me when I ignored my body's whispers. And some of you may have experienced this, not sure, but I didn't pay attention until it was almost too late. And it landed me in the hospital. And I could have died, like literally, I could have died. And so what happened was I felt fatigued, um, really tired. I was still working every day, and my body was whispering, but I wasn't listening. I was pushing through like the other sister. And what happened was I passed down the middle of the airport. That's what happened. Paramedics were called. I didn't want to go to the hospital at that point because I was at work. I wanted to keep working. I'm like, let me just push through and then I can go to my own doctor tomorrow, which I did. Hey, um, and thanks for joining. And when I went to the doctor, discovered that I was severely anemic. Hemoglobin blood count 3.3. Normal is between 12 and 16, my dear. And so what happened was they said you could die at any time from a heart attack or stroke. My heart was beating so fast because my heart had to beat faster to pump the little bit of blood that I had in my body, try to get it throughout my body. That's why I felt so fatigued. And had I continued to push through and not followed up with a doctor, then we may not be having this conversation today because I would have joined my mama. Okay. I would have joined my mom in the land of the ancestors. Okay. So here's the thing, there are some symptoms. Like the sis said, she had a little bit of a headache. She felt fatigued. She just felt like something was off. I felt fatigued. I felt something was off. But at this midlife point, this midlife transition, this menopause point, whether you're in perimenopause, whether you have admitted it or not that you are in perimenopause because you are still cycling, but things are happening that estrogen is still falling in the body. Amen. Amen. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. Then there are some symptoms such as the fatigue, such as headache, such as shoulder pain, such as heart palpitations that you may be experiencing, but you may be ignoring. You may just push through. And maybe you're pushing through because you're like, oh, well, I need to work, or my family needs me, or this isn't going to get done without me. And while these are symptoms of perimenopause and menopause, they can also be an indicator of something a lot more serious. So, palpitations, if you're experiencing palpitations, that's something that always has to be worked up by a physician. Do not ignore it. Do not ignore it. It could be something that you are having your heart rate might be off, your heart rhythm may be off. It could be a sign of AFib, which can lead to something a lot more serious, all right, such as a heart attack. Women, studies show that heart attacks rarely get diagnosed in women because they do not have the typical presentation of chest pain or pain down the arm. Okay. Now, though you can have shoulder pain, like I said, that is, and frozen shoulder is one of the 36 symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. It could be that, but it might not. It could be something more serious. So, these are things that your body may be whispering. And maybe some of you have even gone to your physician, your primary care physician, and said, look, I've been Googling, I've been on the YouTube, I've been on the Google. Now, mind you, your Google and YouTube search does not replace mine or any other other physicians' medical training, medical knowledge and skill set, and their medical know-how. However, I know there are some women particularly who have gone to their physicians, their primary physicians, said, I've been on that YouTube and that Google, and I feel like something is different. Something is off. I can't pinpoint it. It might be menopause, and you may have been dismissed. First of all, don't dismiss yourself. Be in tune and touch and aware. That's number one. Number two, once you go to the doctor, if you feel that you are dismissed, there's a lot of us out here. Go to another. Go to someone else who will listen and address your concerns. So now for story time number two. Now, story time number two, this is another one of my stories when, honey, I didn't know if I was going to make it. Let's pour some Release Your Immunity for this one. Oh, isn't she so beautiful? She's so pretty. I think she needs to cool. You see all this steam coming up? She needs to cool for a second. And yes, Freality blends do have personalities. You can get Release Your Immunity over at freality.com. That is, I can't talk and type. That is freealitea.com. Okay? Okay. So the next time that my body was whispering and I was ignoring was just last year. And what happened was I actually was having, when I was going back and forth caring for my father between Atlanta and Indianapolis, the exhaustion, emotionally and mentally. Dang, I feel that in my chest reliving that. Was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. And I did feel fatigue. And I remember the day that once again I was going to leaving Atlanta to go to Indianapolis. And that morning I woke up, I felt a heaviness in my chest. I felt that kind of impending doom. You know, when you have to face something that really stresses you out, that you're nervous about, you don't know what you're walking into. The anticipation and the anxiety is And took a shower, prayed, meditated. Like, I got this. I felt good. I felt lifted after those things. Got to the airport. Honey, if you know Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport, then you know. Baby child, I sashayed. Do you hear me? Sashayed through that TSA line. Okay. So I'm like, oh, it's a good day. It's a good day. Everything is divine and in order. Amen and amen. And I did some reading on the plane, felt really relaxed. It was a beautiful day to be alive. And as soon as that wheel touched down on that runway, my I felt heaviness in my chest, not chest pain, but a heaviness. My breathing increased. I felt like I was spiraling. I felt that's where I am now. Sis, you're not alone. I felt like I was spiraling and I was like, Michelle, keep it together because, sis, I was getting ready to scream. I felt like I was getting ready to crash out. And those are things that can show up in a way for women. That's a heart attack. MI, myocardial infarction. Okay, EKG is off. ST elevation. For those who in health field, you know what I'm talking about. Um, and what I did was I said, keep it together until you get off this plane. Keep it together until you get off this plane. And so what I did was I began to breathe. Now here's the thing: if it was a heart attack, then the breathing ain't gonna help. Okay, you have to call the 911. But I began to breathe. Intentional breathing, just to inhale. I just said, Michelle, just inhale, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Tell yourself, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And I said, you got this, sis. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. You're calm. You're okay. You're calm. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. And I calmed myself down enough to make it off the plane. I phoned a friend. Last week we talked about from hot flashes to high fives, why women need their tribe, and how it mitigates both menopause symptoms as well as stress. Scientifically proven, amen. And I phoned a friend and I was like, this is what's going on. And she talked me down. And then I felt better and I knew I wasn't having a heart attack. And I breathed. I continued to talk to her while I got my Uber until it dropped me off at my dad's house. And I walked in to face what I needed to face. It strengthened me, it filled me up so that I had something to pour into him. Now, here's the thing: mood swings and anxiety, sometimes straight panic attacks, are one of the 36 symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. But having tools, first of all, being aware, getting the help that you need, whether it's phoning a friend or if you need to go to the doctor, baby, you need to go to the urgent care, you need to go to the ER. Don't be ashamed of, about doing that, and don't put it off. That's a tool, being in touch and aware, but I breathe. Just like I took you through an intentional breathing exercise, I breathed. And like with reality, like it was too hot. And before you take a sip, inhale, exhale, and blow to cool it off. And then take a sip. Oh my God, this is so delicious. And it's soothing to me. And I know that while it's calming me down because of the holy basil, I know that from the hibiscus, it's providing antioxidants that's scientifically proven to help. Hibiscus is scientifically proven to help with blood pressure, to help with cholesterol. Amen. Amen. To help with overall cardiovascular health. And the ginger in here, a natural anti-inflammatory, that also can help calm things down. Finally delicious. So this is Release Your Immunity, the sponsor of today's Midlife and Menopause Moment. Amen and amen. So what you can do about that, like I said, for a quick recap of how to listen to your body's whispers before it's too late and you're flat on your back, or you're having a heart attack and don't know, or you have a stroke. Become in tune, in touch, and aware. Open up your mouth, speak your truth, get to the people that can help you, and do not ignore before it shouts and roars and lays you out. Okay. Number two is in that moment to keep yourself calm and be able to think clearly to get to the help that you need. The intentional breathing. Number three is certain plant technology like Reality and herbs that can help your cardiovascular health, that can help mitigate stress, release stress, and calm you down. And some that this also has blueberries in it, dry wild blueberries. And blueberries are in classified also not only as being fantastic for phytoestrogens, but berries are also considered um, phytoestrogens to help through that menopause transition. Or if you like me, postmenopause, and I have to stay on top of it because the sis will get the aches and pains. And we'll get the palpitations and we'll get the hot flashes. All right. I've been worked up. My heart is good. Fantastic cardiovascular health. So that's what I have for you today. And for even more to go deeper, and not just how to listen to your body's whispers, but to truly give yourself a reset, then I invite you to the Midlife Reset. It's a full on midlife and menopause masterclass, and it's happening next Tuesday. And you can register for that at resetover40.com. I'm going to put that in the what's it called, honey? It's over40.com. Okay. Resetover40.com. Okay. I'd love to have you and we can go deeper of having not just tools and strategies, but a GPS to usher you to your reset. At this age, honey, there's some things that are non-negotiable. Your peace, your purpose, your position, and your wellness are non-negotiables. And so you need a GPS on how to get there. All right. Don't just rely on Google, honey. Get a physician as part of your tool belt that not just knows, but cares, but is living it. Amen and amen. All right, so I'm going to conclude on today. I sure have enjoyed you, to the live viewers and to the replay as well. So for the rest of your day, I want you to be well. I want you to do something well and wonderful for yourself. Why? Because you deserve it. You are worthy. And honey, it's a beautiful day to be alive. All right, until next time. Mwah! Dr. Michelle signing off.